Na-na-na. What's up, guys? Welcome to a new KSR Happy Hour presented by Country Boy Brewing. I am Tyler Thompson. I'll be your host today, and I am joined by, let's see, there we go, Zach Gagan and Jack Pilgrim. There you go. We're all pointing at each other somehow. Somehow it works in this little Brady Bunch thing. Welcome, guys. We've got basketball news to talk about here in the middle of August. That feels really weird. Coming into today, I thought maybe we would be talking more football. We have like one, not two, but three pieces of basketball news to go over, and we'll get to all that. But first, let me tell you about our friends at Country Boy Brewing. Is anybody else enjoying their fine products today?
I would if I were home, but I'm not home. So sorry, folks.
I gotta go.
All good.
Second.
It happens, Zach. Been there, done that. At some point, if you've watched the show, you know that Remy will go off the wall and start barking at something. So I totally get it. So today I'm enjoying the lemonade lager. It is the last lemonade lager in my fridge and the second to last Country Boy in my fridge. So I need to get that figured out. So if you want to get some Country Boy yourself, you can check out their original tap room and brewery on Chair Avenue. They have 24 beers and ciders on tap. And I feel like a really good summer beer is the Country Light, brewed with only 95 calories and 1.8 carbs. It's the perfect summertime brew. So grab a 6-pack at Kroger or your favorite Country Boy retailer or wherever it is proudly served. And while we're paying, I have the lemonade lager. It is a crisp.
That sounds like a Zach beer.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's pretty good.
Refreshing.
Tastes like lemonade. Nice and refreshing here on a very hot day. While we're paying the bills, let's give a shout out to the people who keep the lights on, LG&E and KU. Saving energy can be good for your home and your wallet. And with rebates from LG&E, KU, upgrading to qualifying energy efficient equipment can pay off even more. You may be eligible for rebates ranging from $250 to $1,650 on equipment such as central air conditioners, natural gas furnaces, heat pump, water heaters, and more. Learn about residential rebates program by visiting lge-ku.com/cashback. When they spell it out like that, it gets a little more confusing somehow. But upgrade your home, save energy, and get rewarded with LG&E and KU. I am very grateful for my central air conditioner today. I don't know about you all, but it is 100 degrees outside in Nashville. It is miserable. It's just, I'm ready for summer to be over. I'm ready for fall to be here. I'm ready for crisp temperatures where I can actually wear long sleeves outside and not melt. So we got a little bit of a preview of what's coming this fall when this morning, Jack, you and Steven went down to the courthouse thinking we'd do a little legal coverage with our Kentucky basketball news. You went down to hear about the Mark Mitchell eligibility hearing just to find out it had been postponed. So tell us about your fun morning at, was it the Jefferson County Courthouse?
Yes, it's been a hell of a day, folks. So I started Breakfast Club at Southeast Christian Church with Drew Brown and Stephen Peak behind the camera. Stephen and we've been trying to get these Media Madness sessions going and get some training in. I shot just the worst of my life today, folks. Like if you were in the gym, you'd think that I have no business being doing this job and covering this team. So in fact, Stephen actually has footage of me missing like 30 straight jump shots. That can never go public, Steven.
How do we get Big Blue Drew on our team? He's scary good.
Oh, he's awesome. He's
a big body.
Yeah, he's legit, and he always just goes at 110%. Like never. Oh, sorry.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Is that really how it happened?
Yeah, I also smoked that layup, just so everybody knows. Just to be,
we're
transparent. We're transparent around here with this show. I 1,000% smoked that layup. I shot maybe 7% from three today. Just the worst, by far the worst shooting day of my life. So, got to get back in the gym. Got to be better. So we planned that. My plan was to get cleaned up at the gym, and like we're already, I drive in from Shelbyville. So my plan was, it's like 20 minutes to the gym and then another 15 or so to the courthouse. I was like, screw it. I'll just, get cleaned up, work a little bit at the gym, and then go straight from there to the courthouse. So I was like, it's not that big of a deal. Yes, I saw like the attorney was responding to everybody on Twitter saying, hey, odds are good this is going to be on Friday, guys. This is probably going to be on Friday. Don't freak out. Probably going to be on Friday. But it was still listed online. I kept checking late into the night and then early in the morning. It was still listed online as 10:30, courtroom 11 today. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to not show up being this close and then be the one guy that doesn't show up for, so I was like,
you can't always believe what you read on Twitter. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So
I always do.
And the attorney kept like phrasing around it, which Poppy is his name. I thought that was kind of interesting with the, Mark Pope.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a playoff of Pope. I guess not though.
Yeah, Hans Poppy, I think is his name. But, he kept saying it's likely being moved to Friday, So I was like, okay, maybe it just didn't, the likely part, the gray area with that. So I was like, all right, screw it. I'm just going to go and see what happens. Get there, work my way all the way through, checking with 4 different people to see where I need to go. It's just madhouse, just crap show. And I finally get to where I'm supposed to be. The guy, sweetest old man behind the desk at the final destination where I'm supposed to be. And he's like, yeah, it still says it's listed for 10:30, but it says schedule deleted and now Friday at 11. I was like, oh, it's tomorrow at 11. He was like, well, I don't know. Let me go check. So he skedaddles his way over to the courtroom, just the kindest old man in the world, to go check and make sure nothing was happening there for me. Came back and was like, yeah, the door's locked. It's pitch black in there. Doesn't look like it's happening. So I was like, all right, thank you for checking. So very kind people over there, but there's just so much chaos going over at the courthouse. So it was a total total loss on my part. Big old fat waste of time. And I left and went home, and now it gives us more time to talk about the possibility of Mark Mitchell being added instead of the actual news that could have come from the court hearing today. So right back back at 11 tomorrow.
I wonder if there's any reason that's interesting as to why the hearing was postponed today. Did they need another day to put their case together? Is there maybe, I know Kentucky would never tamper with a recruit that's not, or a player that's not actually eligible to transfer yet, but maybe behind the scenes an even bigger deal is being put together by people in the know. I don't know. It's probably just some really boring reason that has absolutely nothing to do with any of it. Or are more people joining this lawsuit? Did Alex Safari hear about it and he's like, oh, well, that's actually, I probably should do that. I should get that taken care of. I don't know.
Well, what confuses me is, as of today, Alex Safari is eligible to play college basketball or college football based on the Colorado injunction by Judge Sweeney. So, why the Louisville players felt the need to just added, assurance to, hey, I'm not gonna.
Maybe they don't want to go to Louisville.
I kind of had that slight thought, maybe these guys are trying to get out of there and not play for Jeff Brom, but I didn't want to cause a scene.
Yeah.
But my understanding is Alex Safari can definitely play college football, assuming that ruling sticks and the NCAA doesn't get it overturned. They're fighting hard for it, but as of right now, Alex Safari can play college football for Kentucky. Oh, but he can't transfer. He has to play at Kentucky. So hopefully that remains the case, and he's just waiting for clearance before arriving and suiting up against Youngstown State.
So, Jack, I got a legal question for you. Put on your hat for me. So if Mark Mitchell was going to go back to Missouri, he wouldn't need to do all of this, correct?
1,000%. He the same thing as Alex Safari. He was already eligible because of the Colorado injunction to go back to Missouri. That's why this is noteworthy. That's why would he be going through it? It's less
important. Brian Windhorst meme. Why would Mark Mitchell do that? Now, why would Mark Mitchell do that? It's less important with the Kentucky specific ruling. It adds to the tea leaves and just the growing momentum toward Kentucky being the destination, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to play in a Kentucky school. It's trending that direction very quickly, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything of substance. It's just the specific rule for joining an injunction like this or a lawsuit like this. You have to have played in the state in which the lawsuit is filed. So because he played at Louisville, at Duke in the ACC, and then coming here, the Rupp Arena for at Missouri the last 2 years. So you just have to go to a state in which you have played, but it's
we can't be naive and think that there's not some correlation there that people close to the Kentucky, sphere didn't jump in and say, hey, we got a lawsuit for you that could definitely help your case. And it protects Kentucky also from, some of the certain like ghost transfer rules and things that the NCAA, like if they want to throw a wrench into Kentucky's plans with that, there's also some protection there for Kentucky should Mark Mitchell end up signing with Kentucky. So it's a big news tidbit, not the biggest news tidbit, but it definitely helps.
Well, maybe we'll be able to end the week with the very good news that the judge rules in his favor, because we found out today the judge is a UK grad, but is a big Louisville fan. So, I mean, it kind of works both ways. It's like if he's such a Louisville fan, he wants to get these Louisville players cleared, then you like Mark Mitchell's chances, right? So, but he went to UK too. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm still so confused about the NCAA pushing back on this. And do we really need to be worried if this judge does clear them, says they're eligible? Can the NCAA even do anything to say that they're not? They keep threatening to, but is there anything actually that they can do to say no, even though a judge has ruled this, issued a temporary injunction, whatever, they can't play? That's like my biggest, I don't want to say fear, because I don't think they have any actual power, right? They keep threatening this, ghost transfer. The coach would have to sit out 50% of the games or something like that. But it just, in the end, are they going to actually do anything about it? Jack, do you have any more insight there?
I mean, they can continue to file appeals and try to just muck things up. And like all the explanations I've seen, like the ghost transfer rule and trying to publicize a lot of that stuff, is to it's scare tactics, trying to get these schools to go, oh, shoot, I don't want my head coach to be suspended. I don't want my 20% of my athletic budget to go away. Not realizing like it's a pretty Loctite case for favoring the plaintiffs, favoring all of these student athletes, where it's like, what is the legal argument for every student athlete this point forward for the rest of time to have 5 years to play 5? Everybody up to this point got the COVID year, got the red shirt, got the apply for medical waiver here. Like guys were playing 8 years, players coming in from overseas as 25-year-olds. Like there was so much craziness and nonsense that you're going to leave that one little sliver of the 2022 class out to dry. It's not holding up in court. There's a reason why all these other injunctions are going through, and it's almost entirely favoring the student athlete up to this point. So I do think, like, yes, they can keep fighting and trying to publicize how scared you should be if you fight against the man with this, but this is trending very quickly toward, all right, Uncle, white flag, I'm sorry, let's just give out the blanket waiver and cut our losses, because we're clearly trending in that direction.
Well, if Mark Mitchell is cleared and if he does come to Kentucky, it would be a big deal. Zach, I spied on our KSRQ earlier, and I saw you have a bio blast in the works. I think most fans know, the bullet points. He had 32 points against Kentucky in the SEC tournament. He scored like 20 against Kentucky in regular season games. He's really, really good. And Kentucky, as Mark Pope said earlier this week, has a need for more physicality. Mitchell he's technically a guard. I guess he could be considered a wing, but he's a big guy, right? So tell us a little bit more about what he could bring.
I mean, he's 6'8", 6'9", even 230 pounds. Like he is, when Mark Pope, there's no coincidences anymore in all of this stuff.
Right.
When Mark Pope says, a week ago, or I guess on Monday to Jeff Goodman, that he wants more physicality. Like, I was looking through some Mark Mitchell film, and there's literally a video on YouTube. It's 2 minutes long with a dozen clips. It's called Mark Mitchell Bumps. And all it is him just putting his shoulders into opposing big men and just bullying them around the basket for easy buckets. He's a weird player because he's so big, but he's not a great rebounder on either side. He likes to have the ball in his hands. Like we had a whole KS board or debate, I should say, the other day about, do you want to bring in another ball dominant guy like Mark Mitchell when you have two guys that are going to need the ball in their hand a lot, and Alex Wilkins and Zoom Diallo? Like, how does that all kind of work? Was some of it just the fact that Mark Mitchell was the best player on a team that wasn't that great and kind of had to do everything and didn't have a lot of point guards around him? So there's a lot of push and pull with, I guess, the on ball part of his game. And for me, what it just comes down to Mark Mitchell is his talent. He's just better than the two options they have right now at the 4. He's better than Justin McBride. He's better than Usman Njai. This guy has played over 100 college basketball games at the ACC and the SEC level. He's been to the NCAA tournament. He was on Duke's team that won the ACC tournament. He's done a lot. He's been efficient with his scoring all 4 years. Like, he's just a guy he's just a really good basketball player. All SEC second team the last 2 seasons. Just a really, really solid, good basketball player. I think Jamie Shaw put out the rankings for all these 5th-year guys that are about to hit the portal or about to be in the portal officially. And he had Mark Mitchell at number 2 behind only Donovan Dent. And, Donovan Dent had some injury issues. Mark Mitchell doesn't even have those yet, hopefully never. So, there's also the availability part of it. But, Mark Mitchell I think he would work with Pope as a passing big man, that you can see the fit there. He is a guy that, like, a lot of his buckets came in isolation. But he's really talented at that. Like, he's not an inefficient ISO guy. He does a lot of triple threat stuff. Just get the ball at the top or, 10, 15 feet out from the basket and just take his guy off the dribble and go to work. How will that work in Pope's system, where he might have 3 non-shooters on the floor at the same time if he is that starting 4 with only Milan there? There's a lot of positives and negatives. Another positive is now if Mark Mitchell does come to Kentucky, then you've got another guy who can go get you a bucket. Mila Momcilovic is kind of like your safety valve for a 3-point shot. Mark Mitchell's your safety valve for anything around the paint, as just a guy that can go get you a bucket. So you got a lot of opportunities there. He's a good ball handler. He wants to push the pace. That's another thing that Pope is looking for. He wants to get up and down the floor. Mark Mitchell will do that. Like I said, good passer. He likes to throw lob passes. So he averaged 1.2 and ones per game last season, was a weird stat I saw. So he averaged an and one a game, a little bit more than that. So the physicality is all right there with what Mark Pope was saying. Like, that's the one of the major things, or one of the few concerns I have with next season's roster is some of is that 4 spot in general, especially after watching that open practice, kind of reconfirmed a lot of that. And Mark Mitchell fills that. Like, he's your plug and play 4 immediately if he comes in and is your guy. I don't think he fixes the rebounding issue. I think that's probably the biggest thing that I kind of have about with this team right now is who's going to be rebounding the ball. I think Malachi is going to be taxed a lot to do a lot of that stuff with or without Mark Mitchell. But ultimately, like I said, kind of off top there, it just comes down to talent. And I think Jackson Kohler might be the better fit for Mark Pope as just a pure rebounder guy who can maybe stretch the floor a little bit more. But Mark Mitchell is just a better talent, I think. Better talent raises your ceiling. So I think if that's what you're trying to do, if you're trying to make it to a Final Four or an Elite Eight or whatever, I think Mark Mitchell helps you get there. And then you just kind of work out the whole ball handling issues. Like the team chemistry thing, I understand it. That's why I was really against like a guy like Keyshawn Hall, who just seems to be a problem wherever he goes. Yeah. That's a little bit different than adding a guy like Mark Mitchell, who seems to be, by all accounts, like a really well-liked guy by all his teammates and everything. It might piss off Usman Njai and Justin McBride a little bit, but hey, this is basketball. Like, it happens I know the NBA is a different product, but guys get traded midseason all the time, and then you got to work and adapt. Like this is just how it works. So, and I don't think he would come in and be a big locker room issue either at all. And I'm sure Mark Pope is dealing with his guys right now, kind of exploring the possibility of this with all of his players, saying that, this could happen. If Mark Mitchell comes in, this is how things will go, or if they get X guy. So, but he's just a really good basketball player. And if you can lock him down, it just makes Kentucky a much better team for next season. I don't care. You figure out the issues or whatever word you want to use along the way. And hopefully by the end of the season, you've got everyone clicking on the same page, and you've got 5 starting level guys that are like really, really good, like potential all SEC. Like, I don't know if Zoom or Alex are all SEC level guys right now, but you can look at Mark Mitchell, Milan, and Malachi and say yes. And then if Zoom and Alex have good seasons, then you got 5 potential guys that are that caliber of player. And that's a good starting 5.
Yeah, we got some good comments that kind of back that up. Doug Vaughn says, with our injury history over the last 2 years, we need all the ballers we can get. That is certainly true. Ace Chestnut said, Pope is coaching for his job, got to do whatever it takes. And yeah, you mentioned talent. This guy, Mitchell, is he went to Duke his first 2 years. He was a McDonald's All-American. He was like a top 15 recruit coming out of high school. So if you kind of go back to maybe you miss some of the guys that Calipari would have had in terms of pure elite talent, Mitchell is more aligned with that maybe than some of the guys we've gotten used to coming through the program in the past couple of years. So it would be a huge, huge boost to the roster in a year that Kentucky really, really needs to be good, because if not, it's going to be kind of go back to the drawing board next year without Mark Pope and with the new coach coming in and all that. So fingers crossed tomorrow goes well. Jack, you're going to be back down there with Steven at the courthouse. You've got your practice run in. So
I know where I'm going. I know exactly.
You know where to park.
We're good. I don't even have to show up that early. I can show up with my cup of coffee. We'll be good to go.
Well, if they have Mitchell or not, the Kentucky basketball team, we found out more about the schedule today. We knew that there was a rumored game against West Virginia on Black Friday in Nashville, and we knew that fell through because West Virginia announced they were playing somebody else. I forget who it was. So we knew there was an open spot for a game that week. And today we found out who it's going to be. Wichita State is coming to town. They're going to play at Rupp Arena on Black Friday, November 27th. Obviously, everybody remembers the NCAA tournament games against them in 2014, 2017. I didn't really put two and two together. That was the only times that they've played Kentucky. Kentucky's never played them in the regular season. I guess why would they? It would be super random. So Zach, what were your first impressions when you heard the Shockers were coming to town?
Greg Marshall, just the first guy I think of. Actually, Ron Baker was the first name I thought of when I saw Wichita State.
That hair.
Shout out to the New York Knicks legend. Yeah, I mean, especially that first game in, I guess, the 2014 one, like just an instant classic NCAA tournament game. Wichita State is not necessarily as good as they were during the 2010s. Like, it feels like they had a pretty, like, just overall good run. We had to look up who their coach was. I know we were kind of joking about it this morning in the KSR group chat that we don't really know anything much about them. But I think it's a quality non-conference opponent. I think, or quality mid-major. Like, it's not one of your high major, big name teams. I think Kentucky, they have the 5 big name non-conference opponents on there. So I am generally fine with how the non-conference looks right now. And I think adding a Wichita State it'll be good for the resume. I think in the end, like, that could be a quad 2 game, maybe if Wichita State's good, maybe a quad 3. So I think it's good for the resume. I think it's a solid mid-major opponent, one that kind of has a decent history. So I was totally fine to see that. Maybe West Virginia probably would have been a better option just in terms of overall allure and trying to attract fans to watch it. But I think Wichita State is a fine replacement for that if the West Virginia thing really was even that far along. But I'm good with Wichita State being on the schedule.
Well, it also sets up a heck of a weekend. So you've got Thanksgiving on Thursday, you've got Wichita State at Rupp on Friday, and then you've got Governor's Cup versus Louisville, Kroger Field on Saturday. So there's your Thanksgiving weekend, folks. I mean, I know I'll be in Danville. I'll be coming up for these games. So I'm pretty excited about it. Jack, it was fun to kind of go down memory lane and writing about this matchup and just remembering the 2014 and the 2017 games. Where were you in 2014 when Kentucky, they were the number 8 seed, Wichita State was the number 1 seed. They were undefeated coming in. Nobody gave the Cats a chance. I was in St. Louis to cover it. Where were you when the Cats pulled off a big win?
I was in my dad's living room, and I remember vividly that I sweat through my T-shirt. I was wearing kind of like a UK pullover kind of deal, and I remember I sweat through my entire shirt. Like, I had just armpit stains all the way through because it was such just like high octane, stress filled, just shot after shot after shot. It's just like, I remember it was one of those games that at the end I was like, I need to change. I am like, this is gross. I'm disgusting. But it like one of the coolest, in terms of just high level basketball, where it's just big shot after big shot, big moment after big moment. And just, I remember Fred VanVleet launching that last shot and the way it just ricocheted off the rim. Like, I remember thinking, like, we've come so far. It would just be so crushing to lose in that way. And for it, when it rimmed off, I was like, oh man, what like Zach said, instant classic. I remember that game is up there. I mean, obviously that whole run was just, once in a lifetime for me, but that game is up there in terms of just individual performances, up there with the Jody Meeks game, the Malik Monk against UNC, like just those moments you remember exactly where you were and how every minute unfolded.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Harrison's shots take the cake. They steal the spotlight with that run. But that was a really, really good game. And then you fast forward 3 years, was the game against Wichita State in the 2017 second round. That was a great game too, but honestly, all I remember is Lynn Marshall and Drew taking the video of Lynn Marshall, and then the NCAA coming to me and Drew and standing right behind us and trying to bully him into taking his tweets down. That was a really, really, really stressful post game because, like, you know, Drew's looking at me like, should I take him down? Do you think I should take him down? I was like, I don't think they can tell you to do that. I don't think they can. And then, like, I'm calling Matt. I, like, go into the corner of the media room. So, like, 15 feet from where we were sitting and call Matt, who's in the middle of the post-game show. I'm like, tell me what to do here. Like, it was so stressful. And then she, after all of that, she came through to the post-game press conference to watch her husband and gave Drew the dirtiest look. Like, and she was, I hope she's not watching this, but, like, I think she was still pretty drunk, and she was just like, it was a mess. And as somebody on the board reminded me today, you remember her kind of going crazy, but do you remember that Greg Marshall's son was dressed in a full suit and had his own clipboard standing next to her in the stands?
I don't. How old?
I don't remember that
God.
at all, actually.
Was he a kid?
He was like 20-ish. I mean, it wasn't like he was a little kid, but we'll have to look up the picture. That was almost like 8 years old. Insane.
Yeah,
it was just weird. It was odd. So we've got that game on Black Friday. Should be exciting. You know, like we said, the new coach whose name I can't even remember, Paul Mills, I think, is in his 4th season as Wichita State's coach.
That's not a real person.
I would never. You could have given me a million guesses, and I never would have guessed that was who their coach was. But he's entering his 3rd year, 4th year, maybe, possibly. They went to the NIT the past 2 years. They haven't been to the NCAA tournament, I think, since 2021. So that'll be interesting. Should be a fun weekend. We also found out that Big Blue Madness is not in mid-October. Normally, you could just pencil it in for like the second weekend in October. No, it's October 2nd, which is way earlier than normal. So that's kind of interesting. When that news broke, I think Ben Roberts broke it first, and he had a good point in his article about it. He said the reason that probably is happening is because the NCAA now allows teams to do 3 preseason exhibitions as opposed to 2, what they did last year. So they're probably just making a little extra room to add another exhibition. Kentucky's already announced 1 versus Little Rock. We don't know the other 2. Jack, what was your reaction when you heard we're going to Big Blue Madness on October 2nd?
You know, it's one weekend closer. It's you know, we're already in the middle of football season, but like, I just love, like, we can extend this season out. I know Mark Pope has been on the bandwagon of, like, let's get this thing to 41 games. Let's, you know, spread, let's play exhibition games in the summer, and more basketball, the merrier. So I do like it being early. I like the fan fest experience that it was last year. I thought that was a really cool event.
They said they're bringing that back, but no word on the petting zoo. So Jacob Polachek, if you're watching, we'll let you know about the petting zoo so you can come check it out.
Yeah. So I like the timing of all of it. I like that we're adding more to the plate, more exhibition games. Just give these guys more opportunities to play basketball, get closer together, give fans more opportunities to put butts in seats. And, you know, Jay Bat, I'm sure he's just loving the more opportunities to make money for the university and athletic department. So I'm all the way for it. Earlier Kentucky basketball season, the better for me. I'm more interested. So year 1, it was Rick Pitino. Year 2, it was John Wall. Like, what is going to be the special guest, VIP, musician? I remember every year Lil Wayne was supposed to be on a plane and just didn't get on the plane.
year.
Every year it was something. Drake was the rumored guest every single season. He actually did show up one time, but then was rumored to show up another dozen times. So what is going to be up Mark Pope's sleeve in year 3? Yeah.
Zach, what were your thoughts? Sorry, I'm looking for the picture of Greg Marshall's son. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, I want to see that too. I don't remember that, but
we had to take the video down. But keep going. Sorry.
I'm interested to see who the other 2 exhibition games are going to be, because, like I said, you have Little Rock on there now. Purdue and Georgetown were the ones last season. Those were big and both of those were at Rupp. Like Jack mentioned it with Jay Bad, he's a money guy. I guarantee those 2 exhibition games brought in a lot of money for Kentucky. So I would imagine that Mark Pope and Jay Bad, they're probably scheming something up to try and get a couple of big name teams to come to Rupp, or maybe do. I don't know if can they do neutral site things for these I don't even know how all that stuff works.
I think I've seen, yeah, because I mean, some schools are even doing them outside.
Okay,
I can't remember.
Yeah.
So they're doing them at like professional tennis courts.
Have a game at Kroger Field. Can you do that? I don't know. Like, that I'm very interested to see kind of how they take that route, because I think those 2 exhibition games were good. I mean, obviously it didn't, they were kind of on the 2 other ends of the spectrum there with the Purdue win and the Georgetown loss, but those are valuable to have, just those 2 games to get some extra real playing time in. The Little Rock one is, it's whatever. It's just Little Rock. You play them to kind of get some chemistry going, but I do like the possibility of adding 2 more exhibition games, and I would expect at least one of those to be against like a really, really good, maybe a top 10 potential team going into next season. That would be awesome. Just for fan experience and everything, it's an easy chance to get some more money for the program, through the ticket funds and concessions and all that. So that was kind of one of my bigger takeaways from that. But it doesn't matter to me when Big Blue Madness is. I assume, like, will they still do the blue-white game? Is that still going to be factored into all this as well? Like, I don't really know if they've touched on that at all. Like, if you're going to do 3, do you want to do 3 exhibitions, Big Blue Madness and the blue-white game? I don't know. Maybe they still do the blue-white game in like a different form or something like that. But yeah, those are just kind of the thoughts that went through my head when I saw it.
I'm ready to get rid of the blue-white game. I'll be honest. After Jalen Lowe goes down and ends the year for Kentucky last year, no interest in ever seeing a blue-white game ever again. Although it is so fun that's the year, that's the game where Darnell Dodson goes for 26 points and Terrence Jones goes for 45. Like, go down the list of like all of the kind of doesn't ever mean anything storylines, but there's always something extravagant that happens in the blue-white game. So I like it for the story angle of it, but in terms of the risk, like, man, if you're already gonna do Big Blue Madness, and like, if anything, play a little bit harder. And I know Stephen Peake has made this argument 10,000 times, but just combine the 2 and make the scrimmage at Big Blue Madness matter. Make it 10 minutes of competitive basketball, and then say, all right, we'll see you against an actual opponent 2 weeks from now or whatever, because I know they have pro day and all that stuff as well. So yeah, I'm totally fine with blue-white going away forever and just never risking injury ever again.
Stephen is actually making that case in the comments section right now. So you called it without even seeing it. But yeah, whoever they play in these exhibition games, can we all just agree we're not going to go crazy like we did after the Purdue win? Because, oh my gosh,
no,
like we will overreact. It's what we do. Just maybe we won't film again. We just won't film our season predictions right after that, because man, Stephen got me and Drew like right after that game, and we were like 40-0. Like, yeah, we were firing away. A couple of updates. Jacob Polachek would like to be updated on whether or not there is a petting zoo. He texted me to keep him posted on that. And then I sent Stephen a picture of Lynn Marshall that kind of includes her son, but it's not great. It's just not great. Like, wish we had the video, but like
that picture, but I don't remember the son.
He's on the right. He's like
focus,
wearing, he's wearing a complete suit, which is just odd. Like, unless he was on the coaching staff and just they put him up there because there weren't enough like chairs or something. I don't know. But somebody on the board, I can't find it now, had a video of a picture, and it showed his clipboard. So that was kind of funny. I'm like, of course you had a clipboard up in the stands.
Yeah, the clipboard is a little much.
It's a bit much. Well, we have one more basketball thing to discuss. We kind of hinted at it at the top of the show when Steven showed the clip. We are how many weeks away from the Media Madness? 5 weeks away. And we have an injury.
5 weeks.
We have an injury to report. So on your all's practice run this morning when you're getting up shots, Stephen Peake tweaked his hamstring. So we can watch it again. It's kind of sad.
I want to, actually.
Yeah. And now it won't be quite as jarring. Stephen, speak from above.
Yeah, no, the Mark Pope injury curse has made its way
You've made so many videos. It's only, oh God, it's just so hard to watch.
I'm fine. I went for a walk around the block, did a little jog today, so I'm good. It's this is going to keep me off the court. I've heard hamstrings are optional anyways. Like it's like an appendix. I don't think you really need one. So, we'll play through it.
Steven has gotten injured on this job more times than he should. Like twice is too many. When your foot was stepped on. I forgot. I went to the doctor for that. I got a bill. I paid like $100-something for that.
That's our second Cameron Mills reference this episode.
Send the invoice to UK on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not our fault. We didn't do it. So we got Media Madness coming up on September 17th. I got my first pair of basketball shoes, probably, I would say ever, but surely in middle school I had some I wore in PE. So I got the denim Book 2s. I feel very cool. I forgot how big like basketball shoes are on your feet. Like I feel like I'm wearing like boats around the house, but it's really cool. Yeah. I feel very cool, very fly in my shoes. I've got to get some different socks though, because I usually wear just like the ankle socks under my running shoes. Can't really do that with basketball shoes. I would have numerous blisters if I did. So I'm looking forward to it. Zach, I mean, we've heard all about Jack and Steven's training. What have you been doing to train?
Nothing yet.
Buddy, this is not, I don't like hearing this because you're going to be my teammate. You better be putting in some work.
Zach, what are you not taking this serious? What's going on?
Do we have to talk?
Steven is putting his body on the line, guy. Come on, man.
I don't want to risk an early injury, so I'm kind of easing my way into it is what I'm doing. So no, but I will. I'll get my training going. My jumper is definitely a little rusty, so if Jack and Steven want to stop going to Louisville for these games and make it down to Lexington instead, I'll not gladly, but I'll begrudgingly go to your 5:30 a.m. gym sessions and we can shoot around for a little bit.
6:30. We're not
break
animals.
Steven's hamstring. That's fine with me. Like I don't have any problem with that. So no, just the regular gym schedule right now, but I do need to mix in a little bit more just general shooting because that is a great still image there. But yeah, I gotta work a little bit. So I'll admit I'm behind. I haven't earned my Mark Pope reply on Twitter yet, so I need to get to that point.
I somehow doubt my unboxing of my shoes will get a Mark Pope Twitter reply today, but maybe you never
Devin
know.
Booker.
I mean, yeah, I tagged him on Instagram, so one could only hope. That would be pretty awesome.
Did we make the right call on going up a half size?
Yeah, I think so. Nike's stuff always runs small across the board, whether it's shoes, like apparel, all of it. But yeah, that was good advice from you. So between our Book 2s, our rowback hoodies, and all of that, we're all just going to be twins. We're going to walk in here and just look like a real action.
Ooh, we should do that. Yeah, we should have some sort of like uniform or tracksuit situation going.
I know, we should. Michael Moreno
asking about our jump shot. Oh my gosh.
You would not want to see my jump shot. You would be embarrassed for me. I'm going to focus on the conditioning part. I can run around the court. I can defend. If you're counting on me to hit a bucket, I'm a little scared for Team KSR, but I will give it my all.
Michael has been on sources say, I think does that not qualify him to be on KSR's team?
Michael Moreno would score 72 points in this event. You guys have no idea how good he would be in this event compared to all these other
we need to make that happen.
Media peers, but come on now, this would not be a competition.
Well, I want Michael Moreno dunking all over Keith Farmer.
I went on Vinny Hardy's
I saw that. I saw you talking your stuff.
I don't know why, but I just chose Keith Farmer as the guy that
he's like the nicest person in the world.
Keith is truly the kindest human being I've ever met in my life, and I'm like,
put him in the basket.
You know what, Keith? I'm gonna end you, Keith. I'm coming for you, buddy.
Well, Michael, we do owe you some Parlor Pizza gift cards. And speaking of, what a great segue to Parlor Pizza, one of our awesome sponsors here on Happy Hour. And in 2 weeks, we have a live show at Parlor Pizza. That's right. So August 27th at 5 p.m. at the Harrodsburg Road location. They're going to have extended happy hour specials during the show. So make Parlor Pizza and Pints your family's go-to spot for award-winning pizzas, wings, and everything else. We all love Parlor Pizza, even though I still haven't been there. I love them from afar. Maybe we could have our post-Media Madness pizza party at Parlor Pizza and Pints. What do you all think?
Yeah, we should cater. You know how they after games at Rep, they cater in like Drake's, give it to the away teams. That'll be us. They'll just be a bunch of parlor pizza waiting in the bowels of Rep Arena.
We're not sharing with anybody else. We're gonna win Media Madness, and then we're just gonna eat our parlor pizza and pints right in front of them. It's gonna be fantastic.
LEX 18 can starve.
Yeah, Keith Farmer.
Yeah. Suck it, Keith Farmer. I ate.
I was going to send this to him.
We had a pool party with a bunch of family in town over the weekend, and ordered 3 parlor pizza, large pizzas, a breadstick, and 20 smoked wings on Sunday. So we are 4 days removed from parlor pizza, and still just love every second of it. It's the best pizza place in the world. So.
That's awesome. So mark your calendars for August 27th, a special KSR happy hour live broadcast at the Harrodsburg Road location starting 1 hour later than normal at 5 p.m. They're going to have happy hour specials going throughout. So it should be a lot of fun. It's finally time to talk some football. We had so much basketball news today that we're finally just getting to it, which feels weird considering how close we are to the season. Saturday, the Cats scrimmage for the first time in fall camp, and you can go meet the team. It is not a fan day. It is a meet the team day.
Don't you dare.
Call it that.
Will Stein will personally come to your house and give you a nice little talking to.
So from 5 to 6 in the concourse of Kroger Field. Yeah, I was like, I would actually like that. That'd be kind of fun.
I'll call fan day all day long if he's going to come to my house and talk to me.
If we say it 3 times in a row, will he just show up on happy
hour? Click my heels. Click my cleats.
That would be awesome. So I'm curious how many people are going to go out for that. I mean, 1 hour, fan day typically took like 3 to 4 hours, and it included a practice and all that. So I'll be curious to see the turnout and also the decision-making behind it. I get it's a first-year coach, first-year AD, so maybe they just didn't have time to really properly plan something like this. Hopefully they get a bunch of people there. I know people are super excited. It'll be right after the first scrimmage. So on Saturday, the media will hear at least from Will Stein, Joe Sloan, and Jay Bateman. So it should be exciting. You guys get to talk a lot about basketball, but you don't really get to talk a ton about football. So if you wanted to share your thoughts about the football team, I was going to give you guys the floor. Zach, what are you most excited for this season?
Well, to be honest, most of my football thoughts come from 11 personnel. So I would just sit here and regurgitate everything that Nick and Adam say on their show. I'm about to finish the one that they just posted. I'm just for the fan day thing. I do think it's going to be a good turnout, honestly, just because of all the excitement and hype that's built up. I think there will be a decent amount of fans there. The building has finally been cleaned off on the outside, so it looks like an actual SEC stadium. So that's nice, just from that angle. And then having the scrimmage after will be nice. I know Stein's been very protective and secretive about giving things away and all that. So we'll see what he is able to, kind of spill out from the scrimmage that happens. But, I'm in the same boat as everyone here. I'm very excited about the upcoming season. I don't know how good they're going to be. I don't know what it's really going to look like, but I have a feeling it'll be exciting and it'll bring in a lot of fans. And that's really all I think you can ask for Will Stein in year one is give the fans something to, look forward to, give them reasons to believe in the future. And, I think he's done a great job of that so far. And, if they can find a way to make it out of this ridiculous schedule, which, if we're going off just the coaches poll, the USA Today coaches preseason poll, all 10 of their non-bye games are against teams ranked in the top. I think it was 35 in the country. If you go to the receiving votes as well. So the schedule is just going to be, and that could all change, obviously, as the season goes along. A lot of those teams will go up and down. But on just as where we are right now, it's like, man, that's a tough schedule. So if you can eke out 6 wins somehow, I think that you just have to classify that as an A+. So very excited with everything we've been hearing so far. I'm excited to see what this offense is going to do. I'm just glad to have the offensive line kind of rebuilt and looking like it's going to be the big blue wall again, because I don't know much about football, but I generally believe that if you have a really good offensive line, you're going to give yourself a chance to win ball games. So I think that'll be the case more often than not in year one. And hey, it'll start quick. You got a very quick chance there at Alabama to really make a statement. I'm curious to see what happens, if if things go poorly in that Alabama game, what the fan, level of what the fan fever will look like. I don't think that'll happen, but I'm just interested to see how quickly things could change if that game does go poorly, which again, I don't think it will, but so yeah, those are just my random general thoughts on the football team right now. Let me listen to the rest of the 11 personnel and I'll give you more of my thoughts later.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think you mentioned the offensive line. We had a great post on KS Board today. Let me find the poster's name so I can give him credit. Well, it's Anon 170-109-7561 wrote today that he recently caught up with some family members who have connections to the current football players on the team. And he shared some of those takeaways. And one of them was that the offensive line hype is legit, that they are an elite unit. And also, this was a great comment. Maybe not a shocker, but all the family members said they think that this team has a chance to actually be good, not just squeak 5 or 6 wins in a tough schedule. The uncle mentioned above said that UK will, quote, definitely shock some teams. So I love hearing that stuff, kind of like the behind the scenes scuttlebutt. Again, that's on KS Board, which has been just crazy active recently. We've got an awesome sale going right now, 75% off your first year. It's $30 for a year. It's our biggest sale of the whole year. So get in there, get on it now. I think it's extended through Sunday, so get on that. But yeah, Jack, I mean, Zach talked a lot about the Alabama game, which before we get to Jack, so you are getting married on the day of the Alabama game.
Correct.
So when Kentucky beats Alabama, are you all just moving the party to Kroger Field and storming the field? I mean, you got to have some plan to have this on the television, right?
I'm burning Zach's couch.
Fair enough.
Well, most of the game will not be happening at that point. So, okay. Yeah, the schedule is going to work out quite well, actually. So, but I will. I mean, if someone come pick us up, Uber me down there, and I'll run right in there, and I'll go latch onto a goalpost, and we can bring it all the way down to Elkhorn Creek or wherever. I don't know what the nearest body of water would be at that point, but could do something like that. So I would gladly do that. That'd be a great little way to send it off, or get things started, I should say. Get the party started. It's going to be a busy weekend in Lexington. I'm going to say that. It's going to be a very busy weekend, exciting weekend.
That's very true. So, Jack, what are your immediate thoughts on football? What are you most excited about, aside from the Alabama game?
I just don't want to have dread going into a Saturday the way I did this past season, and just like as soon as the ball is kicked and like first drive, just get absolutely pummeled into the dirt and go, well, here goes another wasted 3.5, 4 hours of my life. Like, it was just such a miserable experience. It was so sad, and I just hate that, Mark Stoops, who I just adored for so long, and so proud of the state of Kentucky football, that we believe in big things, and that we're talking just eking out 5 or 6 wins isn't good enough. Like, I mean, if you had told us that 20 years ago, it would have been like, hey, well, who's complaining here? So I'm so grateful for that. But there was just this longing and hunger for, like, all right, let's keep pushing for something. Like, we can't just keep settling, and I want to be able to root for, believe that we could go into this Saturday against Alabama, and that we could, keep it competitive and maybe go win the darn thing. So I want to, whether Kentucky wins, loses, or draws, be competitive, make the product entertaining. Like, if we lose 42-37 in a, heartbreaker against a, top 25 team, like, hey, I'll take that knowing it's year one and you got to take baby steps. Like, I'm not expecting to go in there and say, oh, we're winning 10 games because I'm delusional. Like, I want the product to be good. I expect them to, I'm expecting a bowl. Like, I do expect them to win 6 or 7 games and outperform the expectation, but I'm not expecting like Will Stein to come in and just totally rocket ship us to Mars or whatever. So I'm excited. I'm thrilled at just the excitement surrounding the fan base. It just feels like there's an energy that we have not felt in a very, very long time, that this program and this fan base just definitely deserves.
Yeah, and I think we got another, this is on a much smaller scale. We got a cool example of the energy behind the scenes today. So UK puts out fall camp highlights all the time, right? Here's like 50-minute of clips from practice, and it's, Kenny Minchie throwing the ball, whatever. You don't really think that much about it. It's fun to watch, but you don't necessarily always get all the way through the video. Well, I had one of those videos pulled up today. I was like, oh, this looks cool. And then I get 17 seconds in, and it cuts to footage of people pressure washing Kroger Field, which is absolutely awesome. Steven, I put the link in our Google Doc if you want to show it. Like, pressure washing, Zach and I share this love and affection for pressure washing videos. It's so soothing and so just satisfying. But Kroger Field really needed it. And it kind of made me wonder, like,
I can't believe they don't do it every year.
Yeah, like, did they just
did they
not
like,
pressure? What, like, is this like a decision not to, and then it was a decision to? Yeah, okay, this is great. I love the music they chose. Oh my god!
I mean, it's gross.
Yeah, and how many years of dirt is that? It's just fascinating. And how long does it take?
I love the elevator music too.
Yeah, well done on all accounts, admin. Very good. So it's like a very symbolic, we're washing off the dirt from the past years and entering a new era. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm ready to either go watch Kentucky football or pressure wash. I don't know. Maybe both.
Both. You can pressure wash while watching Kentucky football.
Keep the TV far, far away. There's also football on our televisions tonight in the form of NFL preseason games. I didn't even know that the Titans were playing tonight until I saw something on like my Twitter feed. And I was like, oh, there's a Titans preseason game tonight. So do you all watch preseason NFL? Is it kind of the thing? My stance on it is I'll watch like the first game and I'll be super excited about it. And then I'll just kind of not watch anymore until the actual season begins. So, Jack, I think the Patriots are playing tonight, right?
They sure
Is that news to you? Okay.
Oh, no. Oh, of course not. Playing the Colts, sitting all of our starters. And so it's a great chance to see all of our rookies and backups. It's the best time. I love preseason football. I will say, though, big Hard Knocks guy. Love it. Hard Knocks every single year. Was so excited to watch the Seahawks version of it. Part of me was like, a little some envy there, some jealousy about, that we should be the ones celebrating the ring ceremony and all that stuff after they absolutely just demolish us in the Super Bowl. Just how humiliating was that?
Very.
But man, I hate the season of Hard Knocks. I'll be honest. Like I thought that the first, in fact, I haven't even gotten to watch the second episode. The second came out earlier in this week, but I was so disappointed by the first episode. Just all the personalities are so bland and there's no good stories. And it was just like, I got the ick from Seattle's head coach. It's just like, how are these guys rallying around this guy and wanting to play for him? And it's just, I don't know, I was getting just this weird feeling watching that franchise. And again, very, very good chance that it's because of my jealousy of the Super Bowl. So like I was
going to say, I think these are still bad vibes from the Super Bowl lingering over.
Totally possible. But so that usually that's the kickoff to my football season. Is once Hard Knocks is here, football season's here. So I was so excited last week. Definitely bummed me out. So the Hall of Fame game last week was an absolute banger. Like one of the best preseason football games I've ever seen in my life. And I know
how many times does that sit and spin?
The standard is not very high for that, obviously, but it was very, very good. So I will be watching the Patriots tonight, and I'm excited to just have football season be here.
Iron Kentucky asks in the comments, does Levis still play for the Titans? Yes, he does. You may have seen the clip going viral of him. I think it was last Friday. The Titans had an open practice, and if you remember the Morgan Newton self-sack, Will kind of did that. It's like he dropped back and was kind of trying to evade defenders and then just slipped and fell a good 10 yards behind scrimmage.
Classic.
But if you listen to Will, whom we love here, he says there are not 32 quarterbacks better than him in the league. So I hate that he's just become like a internet punching bag a little bit.
Yeah, there are 40.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the jokes, they're just everywhere. I still hate that for him, but I'm excited to see what the Titans do. Cam Ward's really great. We've got Carnell Tate. There's some good guys. I don't think the Titans are going to go very far this year, but maybe we can actually get the trajectory going up and improve a little bit. That's not saying much, but I don't know. Maybe I'll turn it on for a little bit tonight. Did you all see we got a new raccoon mascot? It was a big deal.
I saw the tweet.
What?
I didn't understand what the hell it has to do with
So
it.
did you even know that the Titans costumed mascot was a raccoon?
No.
Before
Not
all that?
even a little bit.
So his name is T-Rack.
All those raccoons running around Nashville, you know?
Right.
I thought it had to
should
use
have
the
had
sword, like a I don't know, like a medieval times. I don't know.
Like a
That's the
Titan
logo,
guy.
right? Is a sword.
Or something like
The
that.
logo's
That's what I
a
thought it was.
sword. Yeah, it makes no sense, but yeah, like it's like scratches for UK. It's for the kids, right? I'll try and pull up
And
a
they picked
side
a
by
raccoon?
side, but
Couldn't
They
have picked
picked a
any other
raccoon.
animal in the world.
Kids
I know.
love raccoon.
What's hilarious is when they showed the new one last week. I think a lot of people didn't understand that the old one was a raccoon because it was kind of like a very busted version of a raccoon. Like if you didn't know it was one, you would be like, oh, that's like a bear with a mask on or something. No, it was a raccoon. So the new one looks much more raccoonish. It's gray and it's got a big smile and it's very cute. There's
Trash all over its hands.
Trash panda. Yeah. So that was a bit of a scandal down here in Nashville. And we got some funny comments. I was today years old when I learned the Titans mascot is a raccoon. Iron KY, you learn something every day, especially on KSR Happy Hour. So, all right, well, let's hit up some KS board questions. Bonkersure, is that how we say that? I'm guessing. I want to know the crew's predictions on the basketball season with Mitchell potentially being added. Ooh. So maybe we won't go give records, but Zach, how much would Mitchell add to the ceiling and the floor of the season for you?
I mean, I think the ceiling for this team is currently, if everything clicks, I think they can get to an Elite Eight. If everything really goes right, get to a Final Four. So I'd probably stay in that line with it. Maybe just up my confidence that can happen a little bit more with Mark Mitchell. And I think the floor probably rises. I mean, if you're considering Kentucky to be ranked in the 15 to 20 range right now, you add Mark Mitchell, I could see making that to the 12 to 15 range, bumping him up a few spots. It would be like a very late season addition. He's missed all summer practice and everything. So there might be a little bit of a time to that sort of curve to get him in line. But yeah, I mean, it would definitely, it wouldn't be like, okay, this is now like, I think this is Final Four or bust with this team. I'm sure there's fans that already kind of think that without Mark Mitchell going into year 3 for Pope, but I definitely think that it makes life, like, it would make me feel a lot better knowing that an all SEC power forward is coming to that 4 spot where I don't think that they have a clear-cut starter there right now. So yes, I think just in general, it would make Kentucky, I don't know about significantly, but like better, it maybe significantly better. Yeah. Like enough to make me think that they can actually make a run in March.
All right, Jack, what about you?
All of the intel out of practice over the summer was it's a good team. It's a team that like a high floor, one that you feel pretty confident is going to, be good, make it to the second weekend. Like you can pencil them in for the Sweet 16 and feel pretty confident about that. But do they have the gap between Sweet 16 and Duke, Illinois, Florida, that top group of like, hey, those guys are going to the Final Four. Do they belong in that tier? And a lot of the feedback I got was they're a piece away. This is your piece. Like this is the one that puts you in that upper echelon of the the absolute best of the best. I do think that right now it's a Sweet 16 team. I think that adding Mark Mitchell turns it into a Final Four team. I think he addresses a need. It takes a lot off of Usman Njai's plate, takes a lot off of Justin McBride's plate to where they can come along. And if Usman decides that today is his day to go for, 14 and 8 and hit some big shots or whatever, like then it's his day, but you don't need him and rely on him to do it every single time out. Same with Justin McBride and, Braden Hawthorne, no pressure on his shoulders whatsoever to go, emerge as that guy. No rush on Cam Williams' part to, rush back from injury and be the player that he was, Bellarmine right before Christmas. Like he can just come along in his own time as well. So it really just, it not only addresses the best of what that first 5 would look like. I think that's as good of a first 5 as you'll find, but it adds so much to the depth and allows a lot of the guys that you don't need all of the wild card guys to come along and be stars. But if you can get one of that Braden Hawthorne, Usman Njai, group to explode, then you can really, really start talking about a special season.
Yeah, and I'll just wrap it up real quick. I don't think in its current state this is a Final Four team. I just don't. Like, I think they're missing something. I worry about physicality, especially after Mark Pope brought it up on Monday. But like Zach said, there's not a lot of coincidences right now. I think there was a reason Pope brought that up, knowing that he could fix that weakness. So with Mitchell, I feel more confident about an Elite Eight. I'm still gun shy about a Final Four. I just need to see him. I need to see him play. I need to see how the pieces work together. Hopefully no more injuries. I really hope we've gotten that over that karma. We need good karma. And Steven, if it takes your hamstring, then so be it. So
I will give my hamstring for this team to make a Final Four.
I know you would. I know you would. You would cut your leg off, I bet.
I'd give up your hamstring as well, Steven.
Whatever we got to do.
Okay, what's the next question? I think it also deals with Mitchell, but we'll glance at it. Res von Non-Verba says, could Mitchell help address the physicality concerns Pope brought up? Yes, we talked about that. I think there's one more question. Mark Fox's hammer says, so who is going to be the guy to grab the hammer the most often? Yeah, and I think everybody on this show saw that question on KS Board and was super, super confused until they read the username. So yeah, if you don't know the reference here, Mark Fox taped a hammer to the wall of the locker room in the NCAA tournament because you want to be the hammer, not the nail, right? That old saying. So if you had to guess on this year's team who the hammer would be, Jack, who's it going to be?
Well, if it's Mark Mitchell, it's going to be Mark Mitchell. But I think a sneaky one, what we've heard, what we've seen with the open practice, I think Zoom Diallo is a pretty sneaky one where that dude, he is a feisty, pissed off, when he loses, that dude is going to scream expletives and just let you know that he is frustrated about how things are going. And I like that. Like, I like that fire and the passion that he brings. Like, he's a special competitor that just total, like, consensus across the board. Everybody will tell you that guy is your leader. That guy is the one. He's the kind of the straw that stirs the drink for us. So, he just plays with an edge and a toughness that, he'll pick you up 94 feet. He's going to get paint touches. He's going to, and if you look at him, he just looks, like just a monster. So I think he's a sneaky pick for that one. But if Mark Mitchell ends up playing for Kentucky, as Zach said earlier, he's the physical guy that this team's missing.
All right, Zach, is Mitchell your pick, or are you going somebody else?
Yeah, I would go Mitchell. I'll group both those guys, Mitchell and Zoom. I think, like Jack said, paint touches, those are guys that can kind of set the tone. Mark Mitchell's a guy that can really put pressure on the rim. That could lead to more open threes, like just him being the aggressor of trying to get his way into the rim. So that's pretty much his MO. Like, he only scores around the rim. So I think you can easily see him being the guy that's the tone setter. He's the hammer. And then Zoom's a good option too, just because of his leadership, dog mentality, really wants to get inside the paint. My wild card would be Mason Williams as like a off the bench.
You love Mason
hammer.
Williams so much.
Great call.
This kid's going to be good. Like, it's hard. I really hope he is good, because then I'll feel like I'll feel stupid. But I know I'm not alone in all the Mason Williams hype. Like, the kid is just going to be, he's going to be the same as Zoom, but just like a much younger version, like obviously different players, but in terms of coming in and not letting up in terms of intensity and physicality, like Mason Williams will go out there and just body check, the other team's point guard, not in like a bad way, but like he's going to get up in his face and try and, steal the ball and be aggressive. So I think those two, the 2 point guards, Zoom and Mason, and then, but yeah, if Mark Mitchell's on the team, it's probably going to be him. And if it can be Malachi, I think that would be awesome for him individually, and then just the rest of the team. If Malachi can really establish himself as like hey, I'm the biggest dude on the floor and I'm going to act like it, offense or defense, I think that would be huge, because I do think Malachi is going to have a lot on his shoulders. I think he can handle it. He's just going to have a lot of responsibility that might not be with the ball in his hands necessarily. So, but there's plenty of options. Other guys could take that spot, I
was going to say, and you all have named 4 people, and one of them is Big Frank. Big Frank is going to be the hammer.
Frank's got it. The handle has to be on the hammer for it to work. So I don't know if Big Frank, you got to make sure the handle is connected for Big Frank first before he can actually start hammering things.
He's going to hammer. He's going to growl at you while he does it. More Big Frank love. I love that he took part in the open practice and you all got to see that, because every video I watch of him, I watched the video he did with Usman talking about their team retreat. I think it was a UK Sports Network video. And it was great because they talked about this. They each had a jet ski and they did their own little side quest where they took the jet skis out on Laurel Lake and had their own little adventure. And like, he was just so joyful and so happy talking about it. And apparently they had so much fun that they were late to get back to the boat, and the boat went back to the dock without them. And so they just rode the jet skis back. Like, they finally caught up to the boat and were like riding them alongside the boat. I'm like, that just sounds like a TV show. It sounds awesome. But all right, well, that is all we have today. Shout out to our sponsors, Parlor Pizza and Pints. Again, we've got the live show there on August 27th at 5 p.m. at the Harrodsburg Road location. Come on out and see us and have some hot honey pepperoni and pizza bombs. It'll be the bomb, and I sound ancient saying that. Shout out to LG and EKU, and also Country Boy Brewing, of course. I'm going to finish my lemonade lager. And it'll be good to see you all next time. And Jack, are you ready to go back to court tomorrow?
I'm ready to go to court. Very, very excited.
He'll be at multiple courts tomorrow. Jack's gonna be cooking everywhere on the courts.
Yeah, all in the courts.
I'll be playing basketball in the morning, and then I will be going to court. So.
All right. Well, Stephen, take the day off. That is your boss's orders. Take the day off to rest that hamstring. And we will see you guys next time. Go Cats.